Now the Ballistic Urbanite was one of my favorite cases for the iPhone 6 Plus. Why? Because it had a great texture to it, it was very protective, and it was one of the very first cases that I came across that had the oversized protective corners. Now Ballistic kind of stopped existing as a company between, the iPhone 10 and the iPhone XS. Apparently there's some monetary troubles, but somebody else went and bought the factory and they're cranking out these Ballistic cases again. And so with the new version, is the new Ballistic as good as the old Ballistic? At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I make sure that our ties match, and we base all the reviews on actual usage, which means using a product for a while, even though we know that, well, one word, what's the word I'm looking for, Monty? Terrible? Lackluster? No, the word I'm looking for is that it sucks. When it comes to design, the Urbanite is nothing like the old version. It's a bulkier case that adds a noticeable amount of thickness to your iPhone. Now, I will say that the case does fit the iPhone incredibly well and very tightly, with the exception of this volume button area where the TPU doesn't actually sit flush on the iPhone. So, really expensive device, you buy a pretty expensive case and you get this. Now that small fit issue is actually very disappointing for me because the overall build quality of this Ballistic Urbanite is top notch. Like, I pay a lot of attention to the different layers and the seams along the cases for all my product reviews, and the seams for the Ballistic are incredibly smooth. Like, the difference between the TPU and the polycarbonates is so smooth that it almost looks like it's one piece where it's not. With cheaper cases, you can definitely see the difference between where stuff stops and ends, but not with this Ballistic Urbanite. Like, it's so tight, but then they have got the button area thing, that's an issue. Oh, come on, Ballistic. The front of the case won't slide around easily, but the back is completely smooth. So if you need to go practice rock skipping at a lake when you're in isolation, and you can't do that because you're in isolation, just buy one of these cases and skip it in front of your house on the concrete. I will add that the Ballistic cases, the majority of them have the same design in terms of the corner, and they're like kind of oversized rubbery corners, but on the Ballistic, the case itself is thicker than the corners. So yeah, the corners are fairly rubbery. It's got a good texture to them, but the case is so thick that the corners don't touch a flat surface when you put it down. Like, it's that design, I'm gonna say flaw, that really annoys me about this product. Now, one of the neat things that Ballistic has done with their products is that they've got removable bumpers, these different little corner things. So this blue Ballistic Urbanite came with a set of red and black bumpers. So you can just kind of pop them out, pop them in, and just kind of customize them. And the nice thing is the Ballistic's not charging you more for these corners. There's two sets with every single product, which is pretty awesome. Now, apart from that design flaw and the, I'm gonna say, below average handling because of that design flaw, I didn't have any issues accessing the iPhone in the case. The buttons have a nice response to them. The edge of the camera cutout is designed to minimize flash issues, and the port cutouts are large enough and the edge do not get in the way of using gestures on your iPhone. Before we talk about the protection and the functionality of the iPhone inside the case, if you're finding my isolation series video useful, consider getting just your everyday household items through my Amazon links, because that's kind of how I get paid. When it comes to protection, the Ballistic Urbanite is going to be tougher than your average case. Ballistic claims that drop protection is going to be 12 feet or 3.6 meters, which is quite significant because 12 feet is double my height, more than double my height. So anybody who's dropping it more than double my height, yeah, you probably should buy more than one iPhone and not a tough case. Just saying. Now, this 12-foot claim I will believe a bit more than other products, mostly because the case is so rigid. Like, it takes a bit of effort to take off. And so the more rigid a case is, the better face first drop protection it's going to offer, the better protection overall it's going to offer to you. How much am I going to drop this? I don't know. We'll see. The problem with dropping stuff for these review videos is that I can't get my iPhones replaced if I break them. So that's the Ballistic Urbanite. Now, I've got a bunch of other Ballistic cases, so in the comments section below, let me know which one you want me to review next. The Ballistic Tough Jacket Max, or this B-Shock X90. So that's all I got for this case. If you're thinking about getting a ballistic case, I would definitely go check out the soft jackets that I've done a review for, as well as the Ballistic Jewel seems to handle a little better than this Ballistic Urbanite. So disappointed, like it feels so solid, but it just handles so poorly. That should be a song. It just feels so solid, but it handles like crap. That's a terrible song. First time watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. Producing content every single day for the rest of this pandemic. Thanks for watching. That feels like a very long-winded explanation. Now the front of the case. So I was playing around with trying to drop it on that brick thing. Using that tripod, trying to make it fancy, but it was unable to. But in one of the drops, it sheared across the front of that brick, and there's a privacy screen protector. So the screen protector is pretty much busted, but it came so close to breaking a really expensive iPhone in this case, and there's no way for me to replace this iPhone right now because, well, isolation. Should it be blue? Purple? What do you think, Monty? White? Ugh. Ooh, that yellow doesn't look too bad, but I'm wearing a yellow shirt. I don't think that's going to match. Green? That's pretty good. We'll go with that.